I ain't got time to bleed. I'm doing a podcast. No way! Hello, welcome to Jason Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking to you here in my bedroom in the great state of Kansas. And yeah, continuing on my series of doing the Alien Predator movies. I did Alien Aliens, now we're getting to the first Predator movie of the series. After the first two Alien movies, 1987, we get the first Predator movie. And I don't know at this time that it was considered part of the same universe as Aliens. That came about maybe a little bit later. I don't know if that was always the plan. But, you know, it's cool to get, again, if we're talking about another alien attacking and taking out human beings. So it has a similar style to it, different, of course, design for the alien, the Predator alien. And this one seems almost more intelligent in some senses, like comes from more, intelligent, planet, more technologically advanced. While the xenomorph aliens are just, almost like animals that just, attack, while the Predator alien is more of a planner, maybe. Of course, I'm pretty familiar with this movie. I've always known about this movie. In fact, I remember watching, I think, parts of it on TV when I was a kid. I would, always be switching to TNT, TBS, USA, and they always be playing these 80s action movies. And that's where I kind of got to learn a lot of these type of movies. A lot of Arnold, in fact, Schwarzenegger, that's where I saw a lot of Schwarzenegger, was just flipping the channels and coming across him and going, oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's an action movie. I'm watching it because I love action movies as a kid and watch anything where there's gunfighting or anything like that. So I know I came across this movie at some point and saw Schwarzenegger and was like, okay, I really want to watch this because I want to see, didn't know exactly what I was going to expect, actually. I didn't know anything about the Predator movies, of course, and this is probably in the 90s when I caught across this movie and started watching it, and all of a sudden this Predator alien shows up and I'm like, what the heck's going on? All of a sudden they're going to take it out, and I was like, okay, this is pretty cool. And yeah, I was really into it as a kid. So so this is one movie I come into, compared to Aliens movies I've never seen before, knew nothing really about. This is definitely one I kind of knew already, and I knew I was going to probably like it. And I do overall, enjoy this movie. Schwarzenegger's great in the lead, and it's got some memorable scenes and lines that really, really make it a memorable movie. I mean, continuing like one of the first scenes of the movie where Schwarzenegger and Carl Weathers is great too. I like Carl Weathers here, but that first scene where they, hey, you're still, where'd you come from, and all this stuff like that. Like they haven't seen each other for a while, and then they do that like handshake where their muscles are just bulging, their biceps, and it just holds on to them, just clapping their hands in the biceps. Love that. So macho, oh yeah, these guys are, macho guys. That's fun. And I like the whole team aspect, it's so interesting. You don't really get the Predator alien until like an hour into the movie, it feels like, or 45 minutes into the movie, you really get them fighting the Predator. First part is really just them on this mission in South America, coming across these, this gang or whatever, and there's hostages, and they're trying to plan on taking them out. And it's actually really good. But I love all the characters that we meet. I really especially like Jesse Ventura. I think was actually really quite good here. And like I said in my intro, my favorite line is that, "You're bleeding. I ain't got time to bleed." What a great line. Love that line. Probably my favorite line in the movie. I mean, even though you got lines like, "Get to the chopper," that's obviously probably the most famous line from here. But and you get guys like Bill Dukes here and others, like I said, Carl Weathers. Overall, really good cast, I think, of macho guys. Shane Black's in here. But yeah, I like actually maybe the best action scene is that first one where they take over, these, I would say almost like a cartel gang or something like that, and rescue the hostages. That's a pretty cool action sequence overall. And then that all ends, and that really has nothing to do with the Predator or the plot of the movie, really. It's just them do this mission, and then them go, okay, we gotta get to these choppers. And all of a sudden, when they're trying to get the choppers, all of a sudden they get attacked by this alien, the Predator, and they don't know because he's invisible, you can't see him, and he's taking them out, and he's not only bigger and stronger, but he's also more technologically advanced with his weaponry. But it's kind of a cool concept of like, oh, this is what the plot is, and then all of a sudden the Predator comes in, and it's like, oh, the plot totally switches and becomes a different movie than what you expect at the beginning. Kind of a cool idea to switch it up there. And then he starts taking out the different members. And I like the jungle setting. I think the jungle setting is actually a pretty good setting for all this. And them being like, what is going on? We're being chased by something we don't know. I think that's actually a pretty cool premise overall. And then it takes everybody out, basically, except for Schwarzenegger's the last one left. And he's trying to figure out what we're going to do, and then you get to that last scene where it's him versus the Predator. And I have to talk about the Predator. What a great design. That is such a great villainous, I guess, alien creature that they designed. I love the design of this. Even before he takes off his mask, it's just a cool looking, alien. But it really gets really cool when he takes that mask off. I mean, what great makeup work. I mean, even today, watching this, this is 1987. We're talking about almost 40 years later. I'm looking at it going, man, this makeup work is so good. This costuming and everything. I just love those like little pinchers that come out, and he like, oh my gosh, so cool looking. Everything about that, so great. And yeah, that final battle, of course, come on, him yelling at the alien. Then he uses his own. He can't fight him physically or technologically, but he uses his smarts to set a trap. It's a good way to, in the fight with the Predator. So yeah, all that is great. There's a lot of fun to this movie. There's a couple negatives I have watching this over again. One is it is a little slow moving at parts. I thought I got a little bored at moments. And like there's moments where like they first kind of figure out they're being hunted by this Predator or whatever, alien, and they were shooting at it, they have that whole shootout scene. And then there's a scene where I think Bill Dukes and Carl Weathers, Bill Dukes is like, I think I've tracked it down. And so he has Carl Weathers like follow him. That scene was kind of a little slow because they slowly like are walking up trying to, get behind the Predator. But then the Predator knows that they're there and he like takes them both out. And you get that kind of, it's one of the more famous scenes I think where Carl Weathers gets his arm chopped off as it's shooting the gun and it's laying on the ground. And to me as a kid, I thought that was so gross. Even though they cut out most of the violence, you still got a lot of the violence on those channels. And I remember thinking, oh my God, he cut his arm off. And I watch it now and I go, it's just a prosthetic arm that got cut off. It doesn't bother me as much, but still but I don't know, that was a little slow moving, that scene. And the scenes in between the actions, I don't know, I felt a little bored, a little slow moving at times. I would even say like after he first kind of fights the Predator, or he's first trying to get away from the Predator and he drops into that, into the creek, whatever, the alien follows him, and he has the mud on him so he can't see him, whatever, and he kind of slips away. After that, there's this whole scene of him like trying to prepare for the alien, like how I'm going to take out the Predator, and him setting up the traps like that. I did find that a little boring, a little slow moving. I'm like, okay, I need another action sequence till we get to the end. So I don't know. It's not, I'm being a little nitpicky. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's not the worst paced movie, but there were some pacing issues there. And the other thing is I found so annoying about the Predator alien is we always get his point of view, and it's always heat vision, and it makes there's a sound effect that goes along with the heat vision. And he keeps doing that. It was so annoying. I was like, okay, we get it. He has heat vision. He can't see them unless he sees heat. They did it to death though. It just kept heat vision, heat vision, heat vision. I'm like, okay, I had enough of this stupid heat vision, enough of that sound effect that goes along with it. Like, let's get on with something. So that annoyed me quite a bit. The overdone of they're really overdoing, showing us that, hey, he's got this heat vision. He can't really see them, And that goes in with the whole mud, like, Schwarzenegger figures I had to put mud on himself to cut out so the alien can't see him because of the heat vision. Anyway, so I get that's a big part of that, but I don't know. It was too much. So that was some of the parts that I didn't like so much of it. Overall, though, I still had quite a bit of fun watching this movie over again. I will say I didn't like it actually as much as Aliens. I still think was a funner movie to watch. And so I'm giving this overall a 3 out of 5, which is like not a strong recommend. It's a little more of a light recommend. This isn't like, again, it's got some iconicness to it that it's like a movie you need to watch at least once in your life, but it's not one that I see myself going back to over and over again to watch anyway. So that's why I'm giving it a 3. It's still a recommendable movie. Still, I overall enjoyed the watching it, but I didn't think it was as great as I was hoping. Anyway, so that's my score, 3 to 5. It was overall a good movie to watch. Anyway, so that's my thoughts on Predator. Please comment what do you think about the movie. How do you feel? Did you like it more than me? Love all the comments, so please comment. And besides that, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for liking it, and thank you to all my subscribers for supporting the channel. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a good day.